Hey guys, it's Kelly and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a 2025 Lincoln Aviator tour and I am so excited to dive into this with you. Now, the Lincoln Aviator underwent a pretty significant refresh. I'd almost call it a redesign for 2025. We have an updated exterior and we have a redesigned interior. And spoiler alert, she is beautiful. If this is your first time joining me, hey, I'm Kelly and I'm the car mom. I review cars for moms and for families. I'm a mom of 4 and I'm a certified child passenger safety tech. Let's get started. So we are doing the Black Label edition, and this one has a high MSRP, $92,000. Okay, so put on your glasses, your goggles. Just know that when we're looking at it, that this is a high MSRP. This is a luxury loaded up car. Let's start with the exterior. We have this nice refreshed front end grille. I like where Lincoln's going. And one thing I really appreciate about the Lincoln, both the Lincoln brand, both interior and exterior wise, is they're doing a really good job of kind of separating themselves from the Ford lineup. To me, this doesn't look like a Ford Explorer. This looks like a completely different car. And I feel like the interior also has totally its new look. Now, to me, a huge miss for 2025 is they took away the plug-in hybrid. What's that about? Why did you do that, Lincoln? So now all of the Aviators are going to come with their 6-cylinder engine instead, with no hybrid option available. I'm hoping they will add that maybe in the 2026 model year, but for 25, no hybrid. Okay, so coming into the interior, this specific color combination I find to be gorgeous. I think it just looks so luxurious. Let's start by taking a look at the door panel, okay? We have some really beautiful contrast. This very light leather against the black trim. I mean, even the speaker itself just like has a beautiful design to it. And these seats are crazy. So many different seats adjustments. Lincoln is kind of known for these, like, I call them like a gamer style type seat, because this back part separates from here and you can control all these individual bolsters. It's like a 30-way power seat. They are incredibly comfortable. So if you really prioritize a comfortable, cush, adjustable driver's seat, like, these are probably some of the best seats that I've ever sat in. I really love the Lincoln seat. Okay, let me get you to the other side and we'll start breaking down this new infotainment. Okay, so here we have this interior. Now, the two-tone steering wheel, stunning. I kind of wish they would have made it more of like the yoke shape, like that I've seen in some of the other Lincolns that they've done in the new Fords. That felt kind of interesting. But we've got a huge display, heads-up display, our infotainment system here. I mean, the thing is just loaded with all of the different features. It also comes with Blues Cruise, which is Ford and Lincoln's semi-autonomous driving, which allows you to take your hands off the wheel and your feet off the pedal, and the vehicle on certain map roads will drive itself. It is incredible technology and it's absolutely worth trying out if you're going to test drive this car. And to me, it's a feature that's definitely worth it. So many integrations put into this display. We've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Alexa, Google. We have a hotspot. You can even get games from the Google Play Store, YouTube, and then they also have their elevated journey, which gives you these like different, I guess it's kind of kitschy. I'm going to be honest with you. Get energized on the road. Like, okay, this is a meditation to do while you're driving. Sure. Honestly, that's fine. Okay, moving down to here though. This is different for 25. They used to have all the climate control down here. Now it's in the infotainment system, which isn't always my favorite because I find it to be a little clunky, but I do appreciate no matter where you go, this stays the same. And then if you hit this button right here, it will extend a little bit. Then you can control, your temperature, your airflow, your heated seats, your ventilated seats. It's okay. You can control all of your different climate controls, which I do think that's kind of cool. Get to the rear. It's pretty intuitive. It's just going to take some getting used to, and you're not going to have those physical buttons. We move into some nice ventilation, and then our gear selector is kind of hidden underneath this ledge. Honestly, I'm a fan of the piano keys. I think it's very space efficient, and it gets the job done. Lincoln logo, and then we have this very controversial wood trim. It's wood with like a chrome marbling. It looks excellent in person. I can see how on camera it's maybe picking up that it's like peeling. I love it. And I think it's like a fun take on a wood trim personally. A little bit of storage, our cup holders, our wireless charger. And then we also have our center console with 2 USB-Cs in there as well. So overall, decent storage. You've got a little bit of a pass-through right here, which feels good for the size of the car. My headroom feels good. I'm comfortable. I would say this is like a very mid-size SUV. Like, it's kind of right in the middle, as is like the Ford Explorer. It's not as small as, and again, I'm just comparing sizes. It's not as small as a Santa Fe, a Kia Sorento, a Toyota Highlander. It's not as big as a Chevy Traverse, Toyota Grand Highlander. It's in the middle, right? It's in the middle. We'll talk about the second and third row legroom as we get back there, but for the most part, it's a very mid-size SUV. And it's comfortable. It's also got good performance. I know I mentioned that out there earlier, but you are getting up to 400 horsepower in this car. I'm impressed with the performance. I find it speedy enough, quiet, and I think the handling is really good on this vehicle. Okay, let's break down the car seat setup. So, with the captain's chairs, you've got 4 seats back here, right? We only have 2 seats in the third row, but I like that, and I'll explain more when we get back there. 4 seats, and every seat has its own set of lower anchors and tether anchors. So what you have then is versatility. You can put any seat, any car seat in any seating position, provided you have enough clearance. I have been actually picking up my older kids from school in this car for the week. They love it. And they love it because it has the center console in between the 2 seats. Now, if you need third row access, that's a huge pain. If you don't, if you just have the 2 kids, they love having their own space. Like, they have their own cup holder. They don't have to use their car seat cup holder. They think that's really fun and swanky. And honestly, I've liked keeping things off the floor, keeping things off that middle seat. So if you don't need that third row access, that pass through, I actually can see how I appreciate the convenience feature of that. And I can see how I would appreciate it even more when my kids are out of car seats and they're teenagers or preteens and they want to have their own space. One thing I'll definitely knock on this Aviator is I don't like the lower anchors. They have this like leather flap over them, and it's just made things a little bit more difficult. Now, is that a deal breaker? No. Does it go in the con column, especially if you're maybe using like a baseless infant seat that's clicking in and out often? Yeah, it's annoying me, and I wish they were a little bit more exposed. Okay, third row access, we have the tilt and slide, which is on a power. And let's take a look at my legroom. Now, these second rows are on tracks, which gives us some nice flexibility, especially if you're a taller driver, you have a taller passenger back here. I'm very comfortable, I'm about 6 feet tall, and I have good legroom in both space. Good headroom, good shoulder room. These second row seats also incredibly comfortable. Some misses back here though is the lack of ceiling vents, which is kind of shocking. Like, you just have these little, like literally, it's just 2. It's like the width of 2 fingers is the ventilation back here. There's nothing here, there's nothing here. So rear facing car seats, keep in mind, I don't know if I would choose the Aviator for that if you live in a hotter climate, because that, you're going to have a problem with the air circulation. I'm surprised even as like a passenger, there's not more. And no sunshades, which also kind of feels like a little bit of a miss, especially for the price of the car. We have charging. We have 2 USB-Cs back there. And then a 12-volt here. You know, that's also not my favorite. Oh, and I'm sorry, there is 2 more in the center console also. So that is good. So you have 4 different charging devices back here. We obviously have our cup holders. So good storage with the center console, good legroom, kind of lacking the amenities. And I'm honestly shocked. Okay, good. We do have heated and cooled seats back here on this trim level as well. I was just making sure. So you all control it from down here in this little power screen. Let's get to the third row. So this is like kind of the width I'm working with. And just get a shot of the seats before I sit back there. If you can take a look, they're very wide. They're very low to the ground. So I can already just tell you back there, I'm going to have my knees in my chest. So I'm happy I have shorts underneath this skirt because this is going to be tough. So here I am with this seat pushed all the way back. Now, I showed you these seats are on track, so I could absolutely move this up. But this is something to keep in mind. If you're going to have a rear-facing seat here and you're going to need access to the third row, you might be struggling for legroom. And this is just what I am saying when this is a very mid-size car. If you're looking for more third row legroom, you would need to get something more Chevy Traverse, GMC Acadia, Honda Pilot, even like Hyundai Palisade kind of vibe. This is just a little smaller. I will say it is very comparable in size to the Ford Explorer. It's basically, I mean, they're on the same platform, so they're basically the same car, but they look different. So just keep that in mind about the Explorer. Okay, let's sit here though, get a little bit more comfortable. Okay, some misses for me again, the no ceiling vents. Charging only on one side in the third row, which is not really my vibe. Like, why do I need 2 here? Why can't I have 1 and 1? I don't love that. Tiny little cup holder. Vents, again, nothing on the ceiling. These vents are actually in a slightly better location because like they're more face level, but still just, I feel like I would miss some circulation back here for sure. I'm going to push this back. Okay, so like if I don't have to make that's like probably mid pushed up. Now I have more leg room. And again, I really appreciate that these seats only have two back here because there's some space right here, you know? That makes it easier for me to sit. It makes it easier for me to install a car seat back here if I had to, because I'm not squishing on 3 seats. I'm not installing things on top of a buckle. I'm just a lot more comfortable. So there's definitely some pros and cons back here. I think it'd be a hard third row to use every day, if I'm being honest. It doesn't totally give everyday third row access or third row use, but for occasional use, it's comfortable enough. And like, I'll also just say, this is just not like the most ideal way to get out of this car. This just doesn't really like go up enough. We have, of course, this console here, so I can't go around them. So like, not that I want to expose myself doing that, but so, I mean, that's a little hard. Like for a 7-year-old, fine. For a 14, 15-year-old, 32-year-old, less fine. Okay, and then here we have our refreshed back end. You know Lincoln, they love a light bar. They love a light bar. Interesting that the term Aviator is not on the back here, but instead it's only, that badging is only found on the side. You open your power, kind of in between the O and the L, there's like a little button right here. And then we go into our power tailgate. Oh, sorry, I have some returns back here. Gotta get to that later. And then here is a look at our trunk. So underneath here, we have a little bit of extra storage, which is great. And then we have these seats that you can also fold flat. You first have to lower the headrest. I don't think you can do it. Okay, it does power do it by itself, so that's good. And then your power seats fold from back here. Now you obviously have a lot more trunk space, but again, with the no bench seat option, this is not really advised to do this, because just imagine a world like you go to Costco, you go to the grocery store, you get your groceries back here, but there's nothing protecting the cabin from everything in the trunk. So you slam on the brakes, you get in, like heaven forbid, you get in an accident, things will go flying through the cabin. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're shopping this mid-size market. If you feel like it's not enough trunk space with the third row up for your daily life, oh, that's fast. I would highly consider going up a size in the vehicle. But this, honestly, for the size of the car, this feels like a lot of trunk space. It's going to be tighter with strollers, especially because if you look, it's not a very deep trunk. So like by the time you get a stroller in here with like a giant wheel, things are going to get a little tight. But if you're out of the stroller phase, I feel like this is a pretty good size trunk. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this quick tour of the 2025 Lincoln Aviator. Overall, I am impressed aesthetically from some of the features. I wish they would have kept that hybrid. And I do think this is, I think it's a good option for those smaller families, 1 to 2 kids who are in the luxury car market. If you just want something a little different, I do like this car. I think it's beautiful. I think it drives nice. I think functionality-wise, there's definitely some areas for improvement. But overall, I've enjoyed my week in it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.